non-residential commercial property. If the respondent pleads not guilty, the City of Miami, through the Assistant City Attorney, will present its case. After the city presents its case, the respondent will be permitted to present its defense. Both the city and the respondent will have an opportunity to present evidence and to examine and cross-examine witnesses. Any person who is not the owner of the property, managing member, or the corporate owner, or a licensed attorney must have a valid power of attorney pursuant to Florida law. This requires 2 witnesses to the signature of the owner as part of the power of attorney. If a representative does not qualify as stated above or have a power of attorney, they may not represent or present any evidence on behalf of the property owner. The case will be heard in absentia and adjudicated based upon the facts presented by the city. This hearing is conducted in an informal manner. There are no formal rules of evidence. However, all discussion, presentation, and questions are limited to matters relating directly to the violations cited. After all the evidence is presented, the board will determine by majority vote whether the respondent is guilty or not guilty. If the board finds the respondent guilty, the board will order the respondent to correct the violation by a certain date. If the violation is not corrected by that date, the board may impose a fine as stated above. The respondent may also be charged the cost of prosecution and up to $5,000 or $15,000 for specified code violations as a one-time fine for violations that are considered irreparable or irreversible in nature by the board. It is the violator's responsibility to notify the city's code compliance department when the violation has been corrected. If the violation is not corrected by the required date, a fine shall be imposed without further hearing. The fine imposed will be recorded as a lien against the cited property and against other real or personal property owned by the violator. To pay applicable fines and or liens online, visit www.miamigov.com and in the search queue type "Make a Payment." If you need to request an extension of time, you may do so online by visiting www.miamigov.com and in the search queue type "Extension of Time." Extensions may only be requested before the time to comply has expired. Lastly, any orders entered by the board may be appealed to the 11th Judicial Circuit Court of Florida within 30 days. Since we don't have a Creole interpreter, and I don't know if anybody needs a Creole interpreter, but if you do, you can come up and talk to Melanie. Melanie, go ahead and call the first case.
Calling first case. This is a to be heard in the code check agenda. This page 152. The address is 1 Northeast 40th Street. Case number 000-65603. Page 152. Address 1 Northeast 40th Street.
Good
And
evening.
that's page 152.
Please state your name and address.
Good afternoon, Board. Brian Dombrowski, 333 Southeast 2nd Avenue. I don't think I've ever been first.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you.
This was an awning that was removed from the property without permits. We need an after-the-fact permit to cure this violation. Spoke with the inspector earlier. We're going to rush it as much as we can, but I think because it has to go through permitting 60 days.
Okay. Inspector?
Inspector George is after hours co-compliance. Basically, the awning was taken down without a permit.
How much time?
60 days is fine.
Okay.
with me.
Is that acceptable?
Yes, that works.
So we're recommending guilty, 60 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling next case, page 139. The address is 2052 Northwest 27th Street. Case number 000-25547. Page 139. The address is 2052 Northwest 27th Street. Nobody here. Next, we'll go to page 137. Case number is 000-82352. Address 1480 Northwest 59th Street. Page 137.
This is 2 different cases?
Yeah, because no one came for the first.
No,
case.
139 is complied.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Juan Camilo Gomez, 1480 Northwest 59th Street.
Mr. Camilo Gomez, are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you. We'll let the city present its case. We'll come back to you.
Inspector, please state your name and provide the board with a brief summary as well as your recommendation as to time.
Inspector Anderson, Code Compliance North. I cited the property for work without a permit. They installed a fence and pavers without a permit. There's also storage of a boat, and they have jet skis that's also stored on the side of the property. And also they have other items, tires and all type of stuff that's also stored on the side of the property as well. So it's 3 violations that they are not in compliance with.
Okay, and what is your recommendation as to time?
I'll start with 30 days.
Okay, sir, 30 days?
I believe that should be enough time. We already started the process of the permit. The city requested a new survey. So we're waiting for the surveyor to come and inspect and do the new survey. But I believe that should be enough time. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're recommending guilty, 30 days to come into compliance, $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
This is your homestead, Mr. Gomez?
No, it's actually, we rent the.
You
the
rent the
unit.
property?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's listed as a home.
Okay, because it says here that you're claiming homestead exemption, so.
Say that again?
It says here that you're claiming homestead exemption.
Oh,
so
no, we already,
Removed it?
removed it and transferred it over to the actual homestead.
Thank
yeah.
you.
All right, thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Just a question.
I can't hear.
He said
I'm going to move
60
60 days because I think it's going to take a little longer and the 250 a day after that.
Do I have a second?
I just have a question. Did he remove everything that he need to remove? The bowl, everything else?
No, it's
Since
not.
we're giving him 60 days, so we're giving him a blank 60 days for him to still storage
That's fine,
everything
but we
else.
have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
Okay, let's take roll call, please.
Calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Calling Vice Chair John Kuhnel.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Reeves-Tasker.
No.
Thank you. Calling member Brenda Bettencourt.
No.
Thank you. And calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
Yes,
Okay, passes 3-2.
you have 60 days. Please communicate with your inspector. You need to start removing stuff from there.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Have
much.
a great day.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
Three is the page number, address 41 Tamiami Canal Road, that's the address. Case number 000-71106, address 41 Tamiami Canal Road, page 73.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please state your name and address.
Heriberto Martinez, 41 Tamiami Canal Road, Miami, Florida, 33144.
Mr. Martinez, are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you. We'll let the city present its case. We'll come back to you for additional comments.
Okay, before we do, can you say on the record what your relationship is to
Kuramati,
the property owner?
I'm the owner.
So you own Curamanti International?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Inspector, please provide a brief synopsis. Start with your name.
Inspector Torres, co-compliance. This business was checked proactively for CU and BTR. It was in violation. It was cited at the beginning for CU, no BTR. And also after a little research, there was no permit for all the signage that they have on the property. So they complied the CU, the BTR, they finally got them, but they're working on the permits for the signage.
Okay, and how much time do you recommend?
Since the property owner is telling me that those signage, they're no longer allowed by the city. They have like multiples of those. They have like 5 or 6. So they need to get a new signage. So I'm recommending 90 days or 120 days so they can get the
Okay,
permits.
so we're recommending guilty, 120 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter.
Did you start the process, sir? Because this
not-
violation was in November.
I just hired a company that's going to be taking care of the complete
So
process.
that's a no, you haven't started.
I didn't start it yet.
Any further questions? Do I have a motion?
I moved the city recommendation of 120 days, and what was it, $500?
$500.
$500.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any comments that you would like
No,
to say?
thank you.
You're fine with 120 days?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have first and second? All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Can you please take roll call? Thank you.
Calling member Martin
Thank you.
Zilber.
Yes.
Wait.
Thank
Hold on
you.
1 minute.
We're not done
Get a
yet.
vote.
We all didn't agree, so now we have to take a vote.
Calling a member, I'm sorry, Vice Chair John Kuhnel.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Christy Tasker.
No.
Thank you. Calling member Brenda Bedingcourt.
No.
Okay, it passes 3-2.
Thank you. You have 120 days. Please speak to your inspector.
Yes,
We
thank
need
you.
to start the process.
Case, this is page, I'm sorry, page 58. The address is 840 Southwest 6th Avenue, case number 000-68108. Again, the address is 840 Southwest 6th Avenue, page 58.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
William Diaz Rosalo, 840 Southwest 6th Street, 6th Avenue, sorry.
Pedro Mirabal, Mira Design Build.
Thank you. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay, Inspector, please provide your name and a brief synopsis as well as any time you recommend for compliance.
Good evening, Jocelyn Castillo, Co-Compliance Southeast Office. Basically, this lot is being used by Brickell Mazda to park their vehicles. They're parking on improved surface. The lot, it's not a garage, it's not a parking lot. They don't have a C or BTR. I have been in contact with the property owners as well as the attorney today, and I'm sorry, your yes, the contractor. So I am recommending 90 days so they can remove all the cars. As long as the cars are not there, there won't be any violations. I can go ahead and close the
Okay.
case. They're planning to do a garage, so that's,
Okay,
they've already got some plans there, but yeah, they're working on that.
okay, so we're recommending guilty, 90 days to come into compliance, and $500 a day to commence on the 91st day until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll move 90 days, 500.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Okay. Do you have any comments? Anything? Are you
Just-
okay with 90 days?
We're good with 90 days.
Okay. All in favor?
I have a question. Any of the neighbors are complaining about you having a parking lot next to them?
Not that I'm aware of, Pedro.
I can hear you, sir.
We haven't heard of any of the neighbors that have a problem with parking there.
So what are you guys going to do if you're building a garage here? How are you going to, the cars can't be there when you're building the
That
garage?
is, that's the difficulty that we face, and we could have used 90, but more than 90, we are, and a lot of dealerships go through this. They have to find different parking lots, different garages, and that's the challenge in the city. We will rent spaces wherever we can.
Well, Brickell Honda is almost finished with their building.
What's
so-
that?
Brickell Honda is almost done with their new building, so.
But that's not
Hopefully you-
Mazda.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
That's not Mazda. That's the question I'm asking is the garage that we all see is not for these cars. So we give them 90 days. They're not going to build in 90 days anything. So in the next 90 days, you guys are going to request another extension to keep the parking lot as it is because you do not have a building. The garage is there, is not. He's just said it's priceless.
As long as they remove the cars, there won't be a violation, and they would have to maintain the lot.
I understand, but we're giving them 90 days. We don't give a regular person 90 days to keep something in their lot. So you are recommending as a inspector 90 days when you know they're going to request another extension and they're going to have the parking lot full of cars for months.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Betancourt, let me put you at ease. Every dealership.
I live there, around there, so believe
Great.
me.
Good.
I know Mario and I know Alex, so.
You should.
Can you
and
please let
should-
him speak? Because he asked permission to
By all
speak.
means, come by the dealership and you'll get to know me. At the end of the day, every dealership in Miami has difficulty. We're landlocked. So we do go rent spaces. So for example, Mercedes-Benz of Coral Gables rents all the way down by Lincoln's Beard close to Bird Road. We'll find a similar solution. It's
Okay, so
not-
within
it's-
90 days, you're able to remove all those cars, and that would be the condition. Is there any other condition you might want to put that maybe no further extension if the vehicles are there?
I will appreciate it.
That could be.
I don't want to change it because I don't know why to do no further extension because first of all, it doesn't mean anything because they come for an extension.
No,
we
no,
can
I
do it
get
anyway.
that.
Because if
And
we don't,
and
but at
second, if
least
they can't do it, they
To
can't.
get the cars
Back and
removed. Yeah, I know, but it's in a
Hopefully they'll do it.
residential area.
But they'll have to start paying the $500. I mean,
I don't think that they will care if they sell cars $500. It's like those Airbnbs that they charge 10,000 and then we charge them 5. They're still making money.
we have a motion. We can
Do
vote
I have a
now.
second?
We already seconded it. We
You
already did
seconded? All in favor?
No.
Aye.
No.
Roll call, please.
Calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Calling chair, Vice Chair John Kunil.
Yes.
Calling chair Yvonne Bayona.
Yes.
Calling member Christie Tasker.
Yes.
Calling member Brenda Bedingcourt.
No.
Okay, it passes
Thank you,
4-1.
gentlemen. Have a good night. Next case, please.
Calling page number 154. The address is 2381 Southwest 16th Terrace. Case number 000-70440. Page 154. Address 2381 Southwest 16th Terrace. Page 154.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Good
Hi.
evening.
Name and address, please.
Hi, my name is George Martinez, and I'm representing the owner that couldn't be here today, and I turned in the power of attorney.
Okay. Address, please, Mr. Martinez.
Como?
Address,
Oh, I'm sorry,
okay.
23, oh, my address?
Yes.
whichever.
Your
Case
address.
2381 Southwest 16th Terrace.
Guilty or not guilty?
Como?
Guilty or not guilty
No, I mean,
of the violation?
he's guilty of the violation, 100%.
Guilty?
Yeah, he's guilty.
Thank you. We'll let
Okay,
the city
sir,
present case.
is your address 2381?
No.
Okay,
My
what
address-
is your address?
My address is 7345 Southwest 113th Court Circle.
Thank you. Okay, Inspector, your name and a brief synopsis.
Inspector George's After Hours Code Compliance. So originally I cited the property for some remodeling that was done, the driveway, the windows, things of that nature without a permit, as you can see. Some months back, I spoke to George in regards, he called me and he said he was calling in behalf of the owner, Jose. And then he said that they would be working on pulling permits. I didn't hear from anybody else after that time until today, where he did explain that he just finally got the power of attorney like 2 days ago. So he's taking over to get the permits pulled. I checked in the system today. There's nothing started as of yet. I'm going to say about 60 days to give him a chance to get it done.
And this is for the work without a permit, correct?
Yep.
And is it an entire house remodel?
It's not the entire house. It's the driveway, the windows, pretty much.
I
Yeah,
have
in
a
the picture, like the driveway area. I
Is that
think they
fake
had
grass?
some grass.
Is that fake grass? Because that's not allowed. That's fake grass.
Yeah.
That's illegal.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Fake grass is illegal. You
Right.
cannot have fake grass.
We need,
You
it
need to
needs
have real grass.
So there are the Public Works Department will approve some types of artificial turf if it's permeable.
Correct.
So unless you have approval from the Public Works Department, it's got to come out.
Right.
So we're requesting a guilty finding, 60 days to come into compliance, $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Martinez, the property owner does reside in this property, right? This is his
Yes, he does.
homestead? Okay, great, thank you. And what is the reason that they've taken so long to start the process?
First of all, he hired somebody that he hired someone that took like $7,000 and didn't do one thing at all. The first thing he needed to do was get a survey where he can do the driveway, and the window permit is not a major thing. He just had to get the measurements and do a floor plan and present NOAs. I've been doing this for a long, long time.
You're
So
okay
he hired
with
the wrong person.
60 days to start?
Yeah, he already did the survey,
Okay,
and now he's doing the thing for the NOAs for all the windows, and we're gonna submit that by next week, and we should have that process moving forward to get this resolved.
thank you, Mr. Martinez. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for 60 days, $250 thereafter, and guilty. What did you
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
60 days.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Have a
Have a good
wonderful
night.
evening.
Calling case,
sorry.
this is in the code check, I'm sorry, this is the city view agenda. This is page 3. The address is 3126 Center Street, Unit 8. The case number is CE 2021-014-124. Address 3126 Center Street, Unit 8. Page 3 in the city view agenda.
I have that as reset.
Okay.
Back to code check. This is page 45. The address is 2101 Northwest 15th Avenue, case number 000-68550. Address 2101 Northwest 15th Avenue, page 45. This is in code check.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Good afternoon. Ramon Rodriguez. I am the son of Ramon Rodriguez and Nilda Rodriguez. I'm also representing them together with Mr. Ben Fernandez, who's here today. Last time I briefly mentioned that I just become aware of the circumstances. I'm still doing a deep dive on this. So there are several concerns regarding this property that require me to do a deeper research into this. My family has owned this building since 1970, so it takes a bit of time. And my father has passed away about 2 years ago.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I need you to provide me with your address and if you're guilty or not guilty.
Whereas, well, I'm respectfully requesting a continuance. 2101 Northwest 15th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33142.
Okay, and I'm sorry to interrupt. You were saying that the reason you're asking for continuance because you need to do
Based on
further
the grounds
research?
that I was setting forth,
Mhm.
that some of the concerns that have been raised are requiring me to do research into the history of this property, which my parents have owned for 50 years, over 50 years.
What's the violation?
Okay, so we have work without a permit, damage to the city's sidewalks, driving lanes, parking lanes, swales, no CU, no BTR. And this property was cited
When was this work without a permit or these other things
2023.
allegedly done?
October 2023 was when they were first cited. To come here now in June and ask for a continuance, this has to be adjudicated. You can give him time, but he's got to move forward.
Didn't you say you were here before?
He was.
Briefly, last time I only had 24 hours notice.
And you asked for a continuance and got it?
That time, well, I didn't specify a
assume.
time frame. I asked, they gave me 60
That's
days. So
fine.
I'm asking respectfully for 120 days.
But you're going to have to plead guilty or not guilty, and we're proceeding with the case.
Well, I'm pleading not guilty.
Hello, Ben?
Please state your name and address.
Good evening, members of the board. Ben Fernandez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard. We were just recently retained on this matter. I mean, yesterday, I think because Raymond was reaching some dead ends, and we moved forward. Actually, I think it was Friday that I spoke with the inspector and told him that we were going to do work on this, but it's hard to come in to plead anything here because I asked for the file and there is no evidence for us. I had nothing to review in the file before the hearing. And that's why, I mean, typically there's pictorial evidence and so forth. We were told there was nothing in the file to review.
No, we have pictures, and had your colleague requested to review the file, he was here early enough. And he did not, so he didn't review it. Number one, you have been practicing in front of the city's code enforcement board for many years. And you know that when a meeting is requested with the director in order to determine what violations there are, to go over the file with the code enforcement inspectors and the director, that a meeting is always provided. To come here today, after the citation was in October of last year, and say, oh, I need time to study this, we cannot, first of all, I've never seen this board give a continuance. It's a to be heard, it's going to be heard, and then they'll give you adequate time. I'm not going to recommend a significant amount of time when you have a situation that it's been going on since last October. So that's where we're having a problem.
Sounds like we did give a continuance.
And
Can we,
Just for the record, we already gave a continuance.
excuse me. Can we have the inspector, please, present the case?
Hang on.
I think
he
the
has to-
board
Oh, time out. We haven't gotten to the first step, which is, first of all, you need to plead guilty or not guilty. With all due respect, and I'll counsel the board on this. Mr. Rodriguez was present. He was given an extension because this is the first time he's hearing about it. Now we're doing the Madison Avenue shuffle. We need a new lawyer to tell us that we don't know what we're doing. We don't give extensions. He should know. He can be appraised by the inspector. He should have met with the inspector earlier. He didn't do that. So he has to plead
Point of
guilty or not guilty.
clarification, I was just hired today. And I spoke to, and before that I was contacted one day ago. There's no way to get a meeting with anyone within 2 days.
but
With
I
all
just
due
want to make that
respect,
clear.
I understand.
I understand,
But
I
if he
understand that
got,
my client.
if they got cited back on 10/30/2023,
I understand.
we're not talking about that it's your fault.
Want to make it clear.
We're just talking about that you had, the property owner had enough time
Right,
to hire not only you,
yes.
anybody that does your type of work.
I don't disagree with that. I just.
Okay,
the
so
point-
as
The point
long
was
as-
made that I know better, and
No.
I could not have done better.
No, no, you
No,
know,
Let me
and
make
you-
that clear.
Mr. Fernandez, we're always going to, as you know, we're always going to recommend reasonable time to come into compliance. And if the individual is working towards compliance, the inspector will then support an extension of time. So
Right.
it's not like the city is trying to engage in a gotcha.
Understood, but I just want to make it clear that the first thing we do is ask for a copy of the file. I sent an associate down to the city for the file.
Why are we
I was
doing this?
told
Let's
there was
stop, let's
nothing.
stop. You have to either say guilty or not guilty. Which is it? One or the other. Or we're going to proceed on our own.
right,
Not going back and forth for an hour.
Not guilty.
okay.
So let's have a hearing.
We'll let the city present its case.
Okay, thank you. Inspector, state your name and official position.
Good evening, Board. Inspector Lezama, Central Office.
Okay, and did you issue a citation to the property at 2101 Northwest 15th Avenue?
That is correct?
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
That is correct.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as the records from the city's iBuild system and building permit forms, as well as your own personal notes and comments, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser.
That is correct.
Okay, and Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law.
That is correct.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Okay, and so Inspector, you cited the property owner for work performed without a permit, damage to the city's sidewalks, driving lanes, parking lanes, swales, and curbs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you also cited them for no CU or failure to obtain a valid business tax receipt.
That is correct. They have a storage in unit 2105, I believe it's, and they don't have a CU for that particular
Okay,
unit.
and typically a CU and a BTR, provided they are in the proper zoning category, are issued within 10 to 30 days maximum, correct?
Correct.
That's after they're applied for.
Correct.
Okay, and with regard to the work performed without a permit, what is the work that was done that did not have a
They
permit?
have that awning that has electrical lights, and also in that unit in the back, they have a cooler.
Okay. Okay. And have you had contact with the property owner?
The gentleman spoke with me last time, a few minutes, and this afternoon also. But the tenant has attempted to get some permits through Public Works, and they told me they're working on it.
So the tenant is working on it?
Correct.
And okay, so you had discussions with the tenant,
Yes,
which understood that they had installed whatever those lights are and fans and whatnot without a permit, correct?
the tenant stated that they were going to work on it, but the property owner says that they're going to take care of the permits.
Okay. So at this time, how much time are you recommending for the property owner to come into compliance?
60 days to start with.
Okay. And when you say 60 days to start with, if they've made progress, if they've started to apply for everything and submitted drawings, you would then support additional time, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so we're requesting a guilty finding, 60 days to come into compliance, and $500 a day there. Oh, no, wait. It's a business, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
I have a question for the city inspector.
Yes.
Due that they have all these commercial vehicles, and I saw that the city is cracked, do they have the driveway approach, or are they going over the curb to go into the driveway?
What it happens is that they have forklifts, and that's what it damaged the HSA.
Yeah, but I see if you look at the portion here where there is a drain, it looks like there's a curb there.
Yes.
Okay, so they're going, if you look at the size of the awning, they're going on top of the curve to drive into, they've created a driveway
Right.
to be able to park there. So they have a portion of it, but they don't have the other portion of the driveway.
Yeah, they need to correct that. If someone trips and falls, there's going to be
'Cause-
liability.
That's why they have that red
Right.
on there.
Okay. But drainage, metal, they want to go over.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know that the property owner is going to present their case, but we're requesting then a guilty, 60 days, $500 a day thereafter.
Do I have a motion?
I want to
No,
make.
no?
We got to hear from them.
Oh, okay, no, because we motioned last time, then we came back to them.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want
They
to state
pled
that
guilty.
my client is happy to engage in any necessary repairs. However, I think the record is devoid of any evidence that these damages to the sidewalk were caused by the owner of this property in the public right-of-way. Secondarily, this is a non-conforming building built in 1960. The requirements were totally different than the ones that are applicable today under the code, and there's no evidence presented that we're in violation of any ordinance or code that was in effect at the time that the building was built. This building has been built since 1960. My client bought it in 1970. There had to have been a certificate of use issued for this property. We haven't had an opportunity to review the file because it wasn't provided to us. I was just retained on this. So I would respectfully request for the maximum amount of time to come into compliance, irrespective of the way the board decides to
Okay,
rule.
so rebuttal. With regard to the city codes as to the curbs and sidewalks, the city code requires the adjacent property owner to maintain the city curbs and sidewalks. So it is their responsibility and they are liable for it. With regard to BTRs, they're renewable every year. So whether or not they've been around since 1960, every year they have to renew their CUBTR. And with regard to the work without a permit, the electrical code has gotten worse and more harder to comply with because of Hurricane Andrew. We have now, the electrical codes are significantly more difficult. So what they have there, which are new lights, those lights are not from 1960. The awnings are not from 1960. They have to come into compliance, and the sooner they start coming into compliance, the better it'll be for all parties. So we stand by our position.
I ask a question, or whenever you can go first.
No, actually, Elizabeth kind of, cover. I was going to ask him if they have a permit for the awnings.
No.
Since you say that they are not on,
I haven't been able to review
but
the.
they are right there. You can always ask. The owner might know. In ignorance of the law, you know better.
Yeah.
Like every attorney, it
They
will not
weren't- they-
excuse you. So
No, Ms. Betancourt, they weren't cited for that.
for onyx, yes.
And so you heard that the property was operated by my client's father that passed a little less than a couple of years ago. So they haven't looked into that question. Also, we didn't apply for a permit for anything on this property. The improvements that are required to electrical and so forth are required when you make an application for a building permit. If you don't, you don't have to do that. So we haven't.
can put in
I can't believe
without
you
a
just say
permit?
that. You being an attorney, I can't believe you just say that.
It's the truth.
What date did the father pass away?
I have another question for the inspector. Do they have permits for iron bars? Because there's iron bars here. If you look at that picture. Do they have permitting for that?
They don't.
Okay, thank you very
And
much.
they were cited for the awnings and the electrical.
I ask a question.
And bars. Okay, go
They
ahead.
were
Good,
cited,
thank you.
but
Judge?
Okay, two things. One, a comment. You said you want time to come into compliance, correct?
please.
So doesn't that imply that you're not in compliance?
No, we want time to comply.
So you're not in compliance?
I don't know. I haven't been able to review the
So
file.
you either need time to come into compliance because you're not in compliance.
because that's the
Or you
allegation.
don't need the time.
That's the
So if you're
allegation.
in compliance, we can give you a day. Are you in compliance? Yes or no?
No, I
Your
want,
comment?
we want the maximum time.
To come into compliance?
Yes.
Because you're not in compliance?
Apparently not.
Okay, so you're admitting you're not in compliance?
Oh, he said not guilty.
Well,
Well, I understand my question. I'd like to get an answer.
Okay,
It's not my property.
In
Yeah.
compliance or not?
Yes, but you're the
Your
attorney.
client, you're
You're
representing
representing
them.
them.
You're in compliance or not? Because if you think you're in compliance, I'm going to at least move to not
My,
give you
po-
much
my
time.
point, my point is
No,
just.
I don't want to know your point. I want to answer my question. You in compliance and you don't need time to come into
We may not be in
compliance?
compliance.
Or are
with-
you not in compliance? And not May, because if it's May, I'm going to vote for one day and start finding afterwards. So instead of being cute, decide.
I'm not being cute. I'm
do you
just answering
want to
your
have
question.
time
I'm
to
just
come into
answering your question.
compliance or do you not?
I'm just answering your
Okay,
question.
we need to move forward on
I've
this.
asked-
So
I've
there's,
So wait, well, he didn't answer the question. In compliance or not?
Not in compliance, and we need to pull a permit,
Okay.
but because we have yet to apply for the permit,
There may be reasons, maybe you should have done guilty, but that's fine. Okay, the second question is, in October of 23, you said there was work without a permit. So that
Well,
would
we
have,
cited them for the
Cited
work
them.
without a permit.
10/30/23.
so what was that work? Because that would have been after
The
his
annex.
father had passed away. That, you should know about that at least, that you did work without a permit.
I think they found out then that there was an allegation of it.
Okay,
But
but
again, it's
But
the
they did
tenant.
nothing.
again, October of 20, but you're responsible for the tenant, right? If they pull permits? All right.
Okay.
So
what do we-
let's get an idea of what are you
Well,
recommending time-wise?
And the tenants have.
We're-
I wanted to know when the father passed
60
away.
days
2
was
years ago, he
recommended.
said.
We're
Sorry?
recommending guilty, 60 days to come into
$500.
compliance, $500. Having said that, Mr. Fernandez, you have my card, you have my cell, you have my number. You can contact us. We will set a meeting as soon as the director gets back from the conference in Orlando. He'll be
Right.
back Friday. And we're more than happy to walk over everything again. You can do a public records request for the file. You can look at the file while you're here after this. It's up to you.
Apparently, the tenants have already made strides to make the improvements, as you
Right.
heard from the inspector. So it's not like nothing is happening. It's just that the owner isn't fully apprised of the situation.
But it's no permits in the system. So the tenant hasn't done anything.
Well, you heard from your own inspector that that's the case. You don't need a
Ms.
permit.
Haynes?
Right, the inspector said that the tenant told them that they were going to pull the permits, but then they never did.
Ms. Haynes, are there any permits pulled in the system at this time from the tenant?
No.
Thank you
I'll
so
move
much.
for 60 days with a $500 fine. Hopefully they'll be able to figure out what's going
Second.
on in that time.
All in favor?
Stop.
Aye. You have 60 days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Calling
Thank you,
next
Inspector.
case. This is page 25, code check agenda. The address is 2726 Southwest 19th Street. Case number 000-85445. This is page 25, code check agenda. Address 2726 Southwest 19th Street. 2726 Southwest 19th Street. You need translator? You have the microphone. Thank you. Here you go.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Tu nombre y su dirección. Yolanda Lima.
No se oye.
Yolanda Lima. ¿Y la dirección es mi casa? La casa que está, de la que está disputando. 2726 Southwest 19th Street.
Guilty or not guilty?
¿Culpable o no culpable?
Sí,
Yes. Culpable.
sí, no.
Culpable.
Culpable. Okay,
Culpable.
gracias. Guilty. Okay, we let the city present its case. We'll come back to her for comments.
Okay, Inspector, please state your name and official position
Vanessa Pino, Code Compliance, Southeast Office.
and provide a brief synopsis since property owner has pled guilty.
So I received a complaint from a neighbor. They were mainly upset about the trash. They mentioned that this house was an Airbnb. I did locate 3 listings for the property. And did my research, also found work without a permit. It's basically been split into 2. And then there's also a shed or a little storage in the back that doesn't have permits either. The owner right away took care of the issues with the trash. I did issue separate tickets for that. She gave me access to the property right of way, and she did remove all 3 listings right away.
So in light of the fact that she's been cooperating with you since she became aware, how much time are you recommending?
I would recommend at least 90 days. She did already hire somebody to legalize or remove the things that require a permit. Like I said, the listings were removed right away. And I did check with police. There was also no complaints for parties or loud music or any of that reference the Airbnb.
But have you complied the short-term rental, or are you
I
going
didn't-
to close it out tomorrow?
I will close it out tomorrow because I wanted it to be adjudicated.
Okay, so we're requesting guilty 90 days, $500 a day thereafter.
Motion for guilty, 90 days, $500 thereafter.
Does she have any comments or anything she'd like to say?
Owned by corporation?
No,
We're engaged in-
they're going to, they have requested 90 days for her to start the process. Has she started the process?
Yes.
So we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's only 2 ayes, 3?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
has
so
90
it was
days?
guilty 90,
90
500.
days, yeah. $500 was it?
Fine.
Right, and make sure she speaks to the inspector. Keeps in touch with him. Thank you.
Calling next case, this is page 30. The address is 2210 Northwest Miami Court. The case number is 000-38541. This is page 30. The address is 2210 Northwest Miami Court. Page 30.
Hello.
Hello,
Please state your name and address.
Christopher Hinson, 5790 North Bay Road.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
We'll let the city present its case. We'll come back to you for comment.
I just want to be sure, we're talking about page 2210?
Northwest
North-
Miami.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. And sir, what is your relationship to Showcase Acquisition LLC?
I own the property.
Okay, thank you. Inspector?
Good evening, City Miami Code Compliance. I'm currently on the Alpha night shift. However, at the time the case was open, I believe I was on the task force.
Okay, and give the brief, the property owner has pled guilty, so please
Right.
give a brief.
So originally, when this property was cited, they were cited for outside storage, barbed wire adjacent to residential, and failure to maintain the exterior. Since then, the outside storage violation has been cured, and so has the barbed wire violation. Only thing that's left now is the failure to maintain, which I spoke with the gentleman. They do make an effort to clean out the property. It's just, I guess, they're not going enough times a week. So as soon as I go back for a reinspection, it's messy or dirty again. That's the only issue they have now. We're gonna touch base after this regarding something else that happened at the property, but that's not currently part of the violations.
Okay, so you have, so it's for failure to maintain.
Currently, that's the only violation active. I went today, and everything else was remedied.
And this is not a repeat violation?
To my understanding, no.
Okay, so we're requesting guilty. Is 5 days your recommendation?
How much? You said you needed to get someone out there to clean it out?
Yeah.
30 days?
30 days is fine.
30 days, sir?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so guilty, 30 days, $500 a day thereafter.
Motion for guilty, 90 days.
Do I have a
30 to-
second? Do I have a
Second.
second?
Second.
Okay, sir, any comments would you like to make? You're fine with that?
Yep. That's fine.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
30 days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling next case, this is page 129. The address is 1520 Northwest 69th Street. Case number 000-83054. Address 1520 Northwest 69th Street, page 129.
Good evening, please state your name and address.
Jonathan Amaro, 1520 Northwest 69th Street.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you.
Okay, Inspector, please state your name and provide a brief synopsis.
Anishka Anderson, Code Compliance North. I cited this property, back in March, for work without a permit for the fence.
Okay, and have you met with the property owner?
Well, I met with him today. I spoke with him over the phone. They do have a process number that started back in March, but that's all they have right now so
Okay,
far.
so how much time are you recommending?
30 days.
So we want to request guilty, 30 days to come into compliance, $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Just one quick question. I hope we don't forget that we just have July, August is no meetings. I just
What did you say? I'm sorry.
30 days, remember, we're June, July, we're not gonna be here in August.
Well, the reason why, because I opened it in March and, for June and we still don't have a permit.
Sir, is
Okay.
there any reason why, have you started the process or you have not?
I've started the process, but the contractor's really dragging their feet to get the permit done. So I've been pushing them, but they haven't made much progress, to be honest with you.
Okay, you do reside in this property?
Yes,
Okay, so this is your homestead?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, if you see that the contractor's not moving forward, you should request a meeting with the director and tell your contractor he has to be at the meeting. And then that way, he will get his act together, or she.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have, I have a motion, do I have a second?
30 days?
30 days,
Yes.
$250.
I second.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
That's his
Aye.
house,
Aye.
150.
No. It's under the amendments to chapter 162, you can go all the way up to $250 for first-time violation on residential.
So
Up to, yes,
30 days, 250?
150.
You have 30 days.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Make sure you stay in
Inspector
communication with the
Anderson,
inspector.
you can remain at the podium, calling your next case. Calling page 164, the address is 1860 Northwest 55th Terrace, case number 000-84299, address 1860 Northwest 55th Terrace, the page number is 164.
Good evening, please state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Ana Castillo and address is 1860 Northwest 55 Terrace.
Guilty or not guilty, Ms. Castillo?
I guess guilty.
Thank you. We'll let the city present its case. We'll come back to you for comments.
Okay, and what did she plead? I'm sorry.
Guilty.
Guilty. Okay, Inspector, state your name and a brief synopsis.
Anishka Anderson, Code Compliance North. I also opened this violation back in March. It was for work without a permit for the windows, the doors, and the fence. They do have a process number that they did in March, but they still don't have the permit right now. I'm recommending 30 days.
30 days?
Yes.
Okay.
Inspector, I have a question. Have they complied with any of the violations? Have the travel trailer been removed?
The only violation is the windows and the doors.
Oh, the windows and the doors. Well, I have here travel trailer. Not permitted.
164?
No, sorry.
164.
No, I'm looking at 163.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not-
Only
Okay.
My
violation is
apologies.
work completed.
Okay,
Work performed.
Ms. Castillo, is 30 days acceptable?
Can I get 60? I'm just waiting for one permit to get approved because they won't allow me to continue or pay everything and submit all the documents until the last one is approved. And it's the city that is taking forever.
Did you meet with the inspector to explain all that to her?
I did before, right now.
Yeah, just today. I just talked to her today.
Today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're recommending 30 days. She's requesting 60. This is for windows, fence, doors, and we're requesting $250 a day thereafter.
I'd like to ask Ms.
I'll move
Haynes a
60
question.
days, 250.
I have a question
60?
for
Second.
the city. Ms. Haynes, what do you have in the system? Because she says that she's waiting on one permitting.
She is. She's
Oh.
in review, her final review.
Right.
And she's in her final review?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And what
I'm
will
sorry.
happen is August, as you know.
Yeah, we're not in session. Yeah, got it. Okay, so I'm sorry you were
Yeah,
saying.
we moved in second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You
Okay,
have
ma'am,
just a
it's
minute.
guilty, 60 days, $250. You need to get in to the department as soon as possible because August becomes a slow month in the city.
Okay, thank you.
Calling next case. This is page 116. The address is 33 Southwest 20th Road, case number 000-83667, page 116, address 33 Southwest 20th Road, page 116.
Good evening, please state your name and address.
Carlos Bisbal, 275 Northeast 18th Street, apartment 1707, Miami, Florida, 33132.
Are you the property owner?
I am the property manager and I have a power of
He has a power of attorney.
Okay, guilty or not guilty?
guilty.
Okay.
Inspector, please state your name and provide a synopsis of the violations, including the short-term vacation rental.
Good evening, Eric Encinosa, Code Compliance After Hours. These cases were recommended by the Roads Homeowners Association for short-term rentals. This case had been sent to another inspector who's no longer here. He's in zoning now. But when he opened the case, it was closed. Actually, no, I'm confusing the cases. This case was Historic Neighborhood Certificate of Appropriateness. It's listed as a 2-1, and it's really, I think, a 4. So they have work without a permit, short-term rental, and short-term rental's been complied. They complied immediately, but they need time to get the work without a permit issues resolved because it's in a
Okay.
historic.
But are you looking to adjudicate the short-term rental?
Yes, that's why I didn't comply the violation technically, but they did comply immediately. They took the link down. But the work without a permit, there's the pergola, the secondary structure, that's not permitted. They did an illegal addition. There's a garage enclosure conversion that was not permitted. There's a jacuzzi with a wooden deck, that's not permitted. There's like 5 or 6 items that need to be permitted. And because it's in historic, which I found out after I had cited, there's going to be a certificate of appropriateness is going to be involved. So they're going to need time to comply work without a permit.
So how much time are you recommending?
120 days.
Okay,
It's going to be a while.
right, but at least they have to start, moving forward.
Yes.
Madam City Attorney, before you
I have a
make.
question.
can-
Have you
can-
started the process at all, or?
They Yes. start a permit process. Yes, we send a letter from the contractors to the city, to unsafe structures. We request the microfilms. The microfilms we're expecting to compare exactly what was done. The property was bought in 2021, and it was like that. It's on the property records. All the listing has the pictures that it has modified for, I don't know, 20 or 25 years. So we're just starting to find out that this was, I know that doesn't, the ignorance is it's not the law, but we didn't know when we bought the property, it was not on the link
Understood,
search.
but if they didn't give you, they're required to advise you of any violations on the property, and if they didn't, then you can sue
It was not on the
them.
lien search when we bought the property.
No, it wouldn't have been a lien. But we would have served them with a notice of violation, and they have an obligation under Chapter 162 to put you on notice. And if not, you have evidence of fraud, and you can sue them for treble damages.
You're referring to the previous owners?
Yes.
So I have the right to sue them? I thought
Yes.
I thought I bought the problem.
Has the statute of limitation passed?
No, 5 years.
Okay.
I've been told that once you buy the property, you buy the problem. That's what I've been told.
You do, you have bought the problem.
Unless if I assess.
It is your problem, you have to fix the problem. But to say, I'm not the one with the unclean hands, the statute gives you the right to turn around and sue them. We're not gonna sue them for you.
No, I will.
You have.
Because this is outrageous.
So we're requesting a guilty, how much time, Eric?
120 days, you had said.
Well, I have a question.
Kristen have a question.
I've had a question.
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I request 180 days on the letter. I send it to unsafe structure inspector.
I know, but we have nothing to do.
No,
with it.
I know. I'm just saying what I already requested on the letter from the general contractor.
Right, I understand, but this is not the unsafe structures board.
I do understand that.
Okay. I'm sorry, Ms. Tasker, you had a question
Yes,
for
I
me?
would like to see the listing for the Airbnb because we're dealing with not only building without a permit, but we're dealing with Airbnbs, which are very annoying. I know this exact neighborhood and yeah.
Can I
would
speak?
see this.
We have long-term tenants and the inspector met
No, he
with them.
said that you had removed it immediately.
Yeah.
So we
No,
already
right.
stated-
So the first one that we had, their listing was for a 5-bedroom on Brickell Walk to the beach, sleeps 14 people. Then we had.
This is still up today.
Airbnb. That's up for the inspector. I don't do that research.
I took a screenshot. When I click on the link, it just takes you to the Airbnb page, but it doesn't show the listing.
Did you check all of the sites?
I did an image search, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But short-term rental listing, that's gone. They complied that immediately. And that was the only one that was originally brought to me. I have other properties where I've been given 5, 10, 15 links.
Yeah, because the neighbors in this area are outraged on Airbnb.
It's a long-term rental.
Yeah.
I have the
Okay.
listing, I have the contract, I have everything.
Great, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Do you want me to repeat what we
It was
said?
120 days, $500 per diem recommended by the city.
I'll make a motion for 60 days, $500 per day thereafter.
Why less than what the city's?
Well, because he hasn't gotten a single permit or anything from, just to
He
keep this
has-
process going.
He started the process.
Because he started out as a commercial, he used the property for commercial, which is not slated for that anyway. So what tells us that he's actually going to?
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a
follow through.
second?
I'll second.
All in favor? No.
Aye.
No.
Calling member Christy Tasker?
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Brenda Betancourt?
Yes.
Thank you. Calling Chair Yvonne Bayona?
No.
Thank you. Calling Vice Chair John Kunil?
Yes.
Thank you. And then calling member Mark Zilber?
No.
Martin Zilber?
No.
Thank you. I'm sorry. It passes 3-2.
So you have guilty,
days.
60 days to come into compliance, and $500 a day thereafter. Speak with the inspector so that he can give you some guidance on the procedures in the city, okay, including extensions of time.
Thank
Can
you.
I add something else?
Sure.
The microfilm, they take 2 weeks or 3, and I request them already. So it's 60 days, it's not gonna be enough. I'll be here again.
File
requesting-
another request with the county, because
cool.
they should be able to pull them up pretty quickly. And if not, you can request
again.
more time.
Nothing in the city is really quickly. Thank you. Good luck, sir. Next case, please.
Calling page 103. The address is 1274 Southwest 5th Street. The case number is 000-78103. Page 103, address 1274 Southwest 5th Street.
Hello.
Page 103.
Hi, please state your name and address.
My personal address or the address of the property?
Your personal address.
Anthony Martinez, 500 Mallorca Avenue, Coral Gables, 33134.
Guilty or not guilty, Mr. Martinez?
Guilty.
Thank you. We'll let the city present its case. We'll come back to you for comments.
Inspector, state your name and provide a brief synopsis.
Inspector Torres, co-compliance. When I opened the case, I was working with the after hour. Property was cited for illegal short-term rental. It was illegal unit in the back. It was work without permit. There was a fence that was installed in the property without the permit. And also, the structure that they have, including a pool, it is encroaching into the setbacks of the property.
Well, they also have gravel.
Also, correct. And the pool was built without permit, correct?
Okay, I just have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This is T4.
Correct.
So, explain.
Okay, rental property on the T4 is allowed by right. However, they need to get some building permits and a CU and a BTR just to legalize their short-term rental.
Is this
On
a
the
corridor?
T3, on the
that is
T3
allowed?
is not allowed.
It's a
On the
T4.
T4, it
Right.
could be allowed if they get the proper permits from the city.
If they get the right, the
Right.
BTU and this. Okay. And plus, they have to rent it for more than 30 days.
And
Yes.
the what?
Won't they have to rent it for more than 30 days?
Correct, yes.
They cannot rent it short term because it's not legal in the city of Miami. Okay, just clarifying.
Oh, okay, so leasing is there for the Airbnb. I met with the property owner yesterday, so he's working on legalizing the pool first. And he's trying to get the back unit into compliance. So he's gonna need more time just to get all the permits to comply. He removed the listing. I verified that yesterday. So the property is not advertised as a short-term rental anymore. Correct, waiting for the adjudication, yes, correct.
Okay. So what is your recommendation on the number of days?
Recommendations, since you have to legalize everything in there on the property, I'm recommending 120 days, so he
And
can.
in addition to that, they were using it, they were not living there, they were renting it, and they have illegal units in there as well, correct?
Correct, I mean,
Okay.
property owner doesn't live on a property, yes, correct.
Okay, so we're asking for a guilty finding, 120 days. And is it still being used for commercial use?
No, I mean, the property is not listed anymore. I asked Mr. Martinez if he has a long-term rental person in the property. He said that right now it's empty. He's going to be working on the permits.
I have a
Okay,
question.
so guilty, 120 days, $250 a day thereafter.
I have a question for
Madam-
the inspector. As far as illegal units, are they empty? Or you don't
I
know?
haven't get the access to the property.
Okay, are the illegal units people living in them?
No, so I guess you're referencing the garage.
I don't know what we're referencing.
Yeah,
Because
well,
you
that's-
have the
yeah,
house completely illegal, so.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Right, he hasn't been giving access, so any recommendation we have is conditioned on access to the property. If not, we're requesting guilty, 10 days, 250.
My question to you is, are the illegal units being occupied today?
No, they're not being.
They're not, okay.
Question? So if they decide to have this house, a term of 30 days, get the permits, they will be able to do.
On a T4, when I check the code, it says by right. So if
Because
he gets
we-
a permit,
Yeah, it's hotel next to them. So if the hotel has a permit, they will be able to get the 30 days permits if they apply for it as a T4.
correct.
But you have to apply, get your
Yeah.
permit in place in order for you to get the 30 days, but not before.
Okay, do you have any comments?
Well, just an open question. Is there anywhere in the city that I can get further guidance on how to?
Second floor,
potentially-
Sunning.
Okay.
We're not here to give you advice. We're here to rule.
I'm just asking where I can.
So you need to speak with the inspector. He's the one that'll be able to provide you with any other information. Do I have a motion?
Motion for.
So
Second.
our motion for 120 days is conditioned on access to the inspector. Are you going to give the inspector access?
Within 24 hours or 48 hours, can we put a time? Because if we
Inspector?
give them 30 days.
It could be
A week.
48 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow and Friday if you want.
Can we do maybe 5 business days? I at least or on the weekend because I have I work.
5 business day.
Yeah, like basically from today till next Tuesday maybe.
My motion is going to be for 60 days, $500 thereafter, fine of guilty.
You said 60 days?
60 days, correct.
Okay, I'm still
1/6?
working.
60,
Okay,
60.
So, within the next week, you have to give access to the inspector or he will bring it back on the 26th and we'll ask for 5 days.
I think that's too much time.
Can
Apparently,
you-
there's something here that I think that's too much time. I think that there's something going on. And as far as that he wants it till next Tuesday, I would recommend 48 hours access to the inspector, not a week.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
We always recommend a week because obviously the inspector doesn't work on the
He
weekends.
just said it, he
whatever.
was available.
You said you were available on the weekend?
Yes, he said.
No, I said I was available tomorrow and Friday since the property's empty. So
Well,
Why
we don't
can't you
know
meet
that.
'em? Why do you need 5 days or 6 days?
Well,
Why
I
can't
was
you
in
meet them
5.
there?
I mean, just quite frankly, I work so tomorrow or Friday.
You can't send someone else to meet them there?
Well, if that's an option, then we can do that.
Does it have to be him?
yeah, that would be an option.
Yeah, that's an option.
Okay.
So, okay, 2 days is okay?
Sure.
Okay, please, provide your phone number so he can call you and let you know when he's going over there. So, okay.
So I'm going to make an amended motion, 60 days that he gets, and he gets to inspect within 48 hours and $500 thereafter.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, let me just, okay. This is owned by an individual, Anthony Martinez.
That's him.
No, I understand. It is single-family residential. And I do not believe that I can successfully defend a $500 a day fine. That's why my recommendation was 250.
Well, I
It is a
think you can,
T4.
I think you can
Well-
defend that because it's T4, and I've also found that that exact home is on MJ Home Share on Instagram.
He
So
was
you should have
using it
no
as an
problem.
Airbnb. This is
Yeah.
was used as a commercial business.
We already
And the
passed it.
board is entitled to put whatever fines they
No.
deem proper.
We already voted and passed it.
So
Yeah.
it's- it
I'm
passed, so
I'm
we
just
vote.
saying for you to reconsider.
But say it
the
before
board-
we vote. We
I
already
didn't
voted and
know-
passed it.
You guys are fast,
You
Mr.
guys,
Zilber.
so you guys, you can always, amend, you can reconsider it in light of what the city is proposing that.
Right, but we have the right to put whatever fines we,
No,
within,
not within the statute.
If we just, how can you just say that? We just had another Airbnb that was used for commercial property, we charged
But
it
it was-
$500 per day.
Because it
So
was
why would
owned by
this
a
be any-
corporation.
Wait a minute,
This is
excuse me,
as
I'm
well.
speaking. Why would we charge him now $250? The one before was $500.
We already
It was
voted and passed
commercial.
it. Unless
We voted
somebody
it.
wants to reconsider
Right,
it, it's a
so
moot
why
point.
now we're gonna
I have
change
to
it?
leave soon. Let's
That-
move on.
That's
Well, I
fine,
have
but
a-
let me just put this on the record, just so that there's a complete record. There's a difference between an individual owner and a corporate owner. That is the difference.
You're still using it as a
No,
business.
it doesn't matter. The
Does
corporate.
anyone want to vote to reconsider?
No.
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 Let's move on. Let's
Okay,
move
we
on.
have a
Thank
first,
you.
a second, that's it. You have 60 days, $500, 48 hours to provide the inspector access. Please speak to the inspector, give them your phone number. Thank you. Have a next case, ready to go.
Thank you. Moving into the extension of
No,
time.
it's not be about doing whatever I want.
Calling
It's
page
before it's
160.
in multifamily, it's not single family. home.
We're in the extension of
What page
time.
number?
This is page 169.
169.
The address is 176 Northwest 28th Street. Case number 000-61661. They are here on 5 other cases. Mr.
Five?
Moscoso?
Who is it?
Mr. Moscoso?
He was here.
He was here earlier.
He was here earlier.
Maybe he's outside.
Also, I saw some folks walk in that didn't check in. If you've walked in and haven't checked in, please do so, because your case won't be called.
Okay, we'll go to the next case.
Yes,
This is also an extension of time.
There he is.
yes.
Page 204.
He's here. Mr. Mocoso, you're up next.
Sorry about that. This is page 169. The address is 176 Northwest 28th Street. Case number 000-61661. He's also here on 5 other extension of time cases. You want to do them all together or one by one?
No, one at a time,
Okay.
every case. But
Page
are we done with the here cases? We just
Yes,
extend your time?
I only have 2
Apparently.
that are being heard in abstention.
Are they related properties or all separate?
They're all separate.
Looks separate to me. Some of them are
Gotta
related.
do them separately.
Okay, so all these are extensions of time. Okay, great, let's start. Let's go.
Page 169.
Good evening, members of the board. David Moscoso, 2525 Ponce de Leon Boulevard, Coral Gables, Florida.
How much time do you need, Mr. Mocoso?
I'm going to ask for 180 days just to keep this in line with the cases from last week. They're the exact same issue, the exact same property owner, exact same.
You still
client.
dreaming?
And I'm following Board Member Betancourt's advice here on that topic.
So you need 60
Tell me the
days?
address. I don't have-
Sorry?
60 days.
Sure, I mean, that's your recommendation. I think I wanted to keep it in line with the timelines that I got for the cases
What's
last
the
week.
city recommendation? Is there a city recommendation on this?
Yes, 90 days, per the code compliance department.
Why don't we move, I'll move 90.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 90 days. Next
you.
case?
Calling page number 180. The address is 178 Northwest 28th Street. Case number 000-61660. Page 180.
This is the same property owner? or
Same everything, restating the
Okay.
facts as stated in the previous.
Move
case.
90.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 90 days. Next one.
Calling page 184, address 275 Northwest 27 Terrace, case number 000-59310, page 184.
Also restating the same facts as the previous 2 cases. It's the same property owner, same.
Move 90. But why were you saying 180 before? Did we do that last week?
Yeah.
No, we didn't give you 90. I give you 90.
Last week, there was one that was, 2 that were 60.
Don't go
And we're
there.
giving 180?
No,
You have a good memory. I will second 90 days.
I wasn't here last week, so I
I
don't.
was.
I mean, if they're all were coming, if these are all coming back anyway, we gave 180 last time, maybe to the city
No,
attorney.
it's not the same.
Why would
He's
not?
just trying to take advantage of those
I
cases.
don't want to take advantage of anything.
Okay. Mhm.
That's not my style.
90 days? Second?
I'm grateful for 90 days as well. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Let's do 90, fine. move on. I was just trying to stay consistent.
I
Second?
have a first, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
90 days.
Calling
they're
page
picking-
188. The address is 285 Northwest 27 Terrace, case number 000-59311, page number 188.
Restating the same facts as prior, as the previous 3 cases that we've heard, seeking 90
Okay.
days as per.
Move 90
board member
days.
Second.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
90 days.
Thank you all so much. I promise I'll
Just
be
a
back with
moment,
some
you got two
progress.
more
for you.
cases.
Thank you.
Two
Councilman
more.
Two
Perez.
more? Okay.
Yes, calling page 192. The address is 25 Northwest 23rd Street. Case number 0004349, page 192.
Move
They're not
90
the-
days.
They're
Move
not,
90
they're the
days.
same owners?
Same property owner, same case.
Move 90 days.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
90
you.
days.
Okay, calling the last one, page 196, address 2418 North Miami Avenue, 000-56132, page 196.
Move 90 days.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I promise I'll be back with some
Thank you.
substantial progress, especially for you, Board Member Betancourt.
You know, remember.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Have a great
Bye.
evening.
Have a great
Thank you.
day.
Calling page 204, address 2050 Northwest 15th Avenue, case number 000-68376, page 204, address 2050 Northwest 15th Avenue. Nobody here?
Yep, he's getting up. I think
need
he
a
needs a
translator.
translator. I remember him raising his hand. Good evening.
You got the mic on?
Please have him state his name and address.
It's on? No, the light comes on. Oh, it might be dead. There you go. Mhm.
Please have him state his name and address.
2050 Northwest.
No, nombre, name, your name.
Carlos Brito.
Okay. Address?
2050 Northwest 15th Avenue.
2050 Northwest 15th Avenue.
Guilty or not guilty? Oh, no, this is extension of time, right?
Yeah.
Culpable.
How much time does he need?
¿Qué tiempo necesita?
180 días.
Oh, my God.
Why does he
So-
need 180 days?
Well, he
What
has
done so
9
far?
citations. One,
Excuse me,
two,
I'm-
three,
I'm
four,
speaking to
five,
the-
6, 7,
Para
8.
arreglar todas las cosas.
To get everything in
I can't hear
compliance.
you.
To get everything in compliance.
He hasn't started the process?
No.
No empezó.
He hasn't
Miss,
started
the
yet.
assistant director has information. Nothing has been done.
Yeah, nothing's been done.
This is not his homestead either. This is a business.
Can we see the rest of the pictures?
D68. What do we have here?
Yes, you just got here. Of course, yes.
Work performed, finalized, failure to maintain lot in safe and clean condition, damage to sidewalks, failure to register vacant lot, unauthorized illegal storage of vehicles, unlawfully establishing an unusual or new use, no certificate, no BTR. He has a lot.
We started nothing thus far?
Has started nothing since
He
October of
recogido
last
todas las
year.
cosas, reparado.
He just picked
Go
up
over
whatever
there,
was
Madam
he-
Chair, the inspector.
Good evening.
Good evening, Board. They already started contacting Public Works. They fixed the sidewalk. However, they told them that they are responsible to fix the edges. They already also registered the vacant lot. They started cleaning the property. And I think he told me he hired someone that is going to start doing the permits for the fence and for the concrete.
How much time are you recommending?
They're going to need time for the permits. I think 180 days is fair.
Inspector, what about all the trash? Did they pick up all the?
They've been working on it.
No, did they pick up the trash?
Did they pick it
Did they
up?
pick up the trash or not? 'Cause that's.
They pick up the trash. What happens is that since they use it for the trucks, then they
It's
bring.
no excuse, though. I mean, nobody wants to have to deal with
No,
trash.
I'm telling you what
Yeah.
I'm seeing.
Yeah, okay, but I'm just saying. So is the trash picked up or not? That's one of the things I want.
They pick up the trash every day, but that particular trash is already been cleaned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have new photos from?
I don't have new photos, but I have those new photos that I placed on the other side, on the sidewalk that it was fixed by Public Works.
But that was fixed by Public Works, not the property owner.
No, they gotta fix the edges.
Okay, what is your recommendation, Assistant Director?
My recommendation is 60 days, not 180, 60.
I'll make a motion for 60 days, $500 thereafter, fine of guilty.
No, no, no.
No, wait, oh, wait.
Fine.
It's
Extension
time,
of
so
time.
60 days. It's extended.
I'll second.
Are there any comments? Is there anything you'd like to say?
I just have a comment to him. Please explain to him that in 60 days, if he has done more than what he has done, he can get a fine of $500 daily. Please explain that to him.
Inspector, he has complied with 2 out of all these, correct? He complied with registering the vacant lot, and he complied with
Failure to maintain the
the
lot.
damage to sidewalk?
He didn't comply the
He still
damage.
needs to fix the edges.
That just the, okay,
Right.
thank you.
The city did that, the other work.
Okay, but he's complied with some that are here as not complied.
Can you
He's
please put it in
asking
the
if it's
record?
possible to get 90 days instead of 60 days.
We have a first, I think we had a second. So we already voted. All in favor? Aye.
60 days?
60 days. Tell him to keep in touch with his inspector.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Calling page 173, the address is 1101 Northeast 80th Street, case number 000-25700. Page 173, address 1101 Northeast 80th Street, page 173, extension of time.
Hi, please state your name and address.
My name is Gabriel Ormachea, and the address is 1101 Northeast 80th Street.
How much time do you need?
120 days.
Right, we've discussed, met with him before. He's also has unsafe structure hearings. 120 is the sweet spot for both boards. So we're asking for 120 days.
Okay, 120 days.
Move for 120
What
days.
happened with illegal units?
I'll second.
Are those still being occupied?
The whole building is unoccupied.
It's not occupied.
Yeah, the whole
It's
building.
empty.
Yeah, there's a master permit. There's all sorts of stuff that are already in place.
Okay, so 120 days, we have a first, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
120 days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, page 177, address 3640 Southwest 11th Street, case number 000-57492, address 3640 Southwest 11th Street, page 177.
Hi, please state your name and address.
Hi, good evening. Maida Mallory, 3640 Southwest 11th Street, Miami, Florida, 33135.
Ms. Mallory, how much time are you requesting?
90 days, please.
Have you started the process?
Yes.
What have you done so far?
I hired a general contractor immediately. They filed the necessary permits. They found me a surveyor that took a bit to get done. Had the survey done, they submitted the survey. Then there was a correction needed with the survey, that got done. And now there was a correction that I needed to hire an architect. I got a proposal last week. I couldn't find anyone better, so I signed the contract today with the architect.
We're recommending 90 days because of the August month.
Okay. Do I have a
I'll
motion?
move 90 days.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Calling next case, also extension of time. This is page 208, address 1850 Northwest 24th Court, case number 000-60349, page 208.
Hi, please state your name and address.
My name is Wilfredo Fernandez. The address is 1850 Northwest 24th Court.
How much time do you need?
The Aquino inspection say around 90 days because the city, is working with all the public.
Okay, he just applied today so putting it on the city is a little bit too much to, take. How much time are you recommending, Director? 90 days is fine.
Okay.
Do I have a
Motion
motion?
for 90 days, $500 thereafter.
No,
guilty.
just-
No, this is
Extension of time, sorry.
Time.
He's already at 5.
Second 90 days.
All in favor?
Aye.
90 days.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Calling next case, this is in your city view agenda. This is page 6. The address is 1300 Northwest 33rd Street. Case number CE 2021-016-790. Address 1300 Northwest 33rd Street. This is page 6 in your city view agenda. He's also here for a second case as well.
This is extension of time?
Both are extension of time.
Thank you. Please state your name and address.
Yeah, my name is Javier Perdomo. The address is 1300 Northwest 33rd Street.
Mr. Perdomo, how much time do you need?
Excuse me?
How much time do you need?
I need around 90 days.
What have you done so far?
How much did he say?
What have you done so far? What have you done? Have you entered the paperwork? Do you have
I
a
had the-
permitting
yeah,
number? No, just tell us. You don't have to
I
show
had the
us.
contract, I had everything. I had the paper in here, if you want to see.
No, no, it's okay. We believe you. What is the city recommending?
Yeah, he does have a process number.
I know he has a process number, but this was cited in August of 2021. I don't know what's taking him
Yep.
so long.
Yeah, but remember, the pandemic isn't.
It was 19.
It's a lot of time, yeah.
2 years
People were
after.
actually getting permits during the pandemic. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
Well, very difficult
I-
to get.
I-
The city wasn't
it's in pro-
operating.
It's in process, okay?
We're recommending 30 days.
I'll second 30. Well,
Has he
actually, I
complied with anything? The outside storage, have you complied with that?
He's not done nothing. And the pandemic has been over for what, 2 years?
3.
The inspector's not here? Okay.
Okay.
Have
So
you?
30 days, that's what you recommend?
Okay, so we have a motion, 30 days. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 30 days.
For a second case, he's also here for page 8 in the city view agenda, address 3240 Northwest 13th Avenue, case number CE 2021-016-786. This is page 8, city view agenda.
How much time do you need?
My name is Javier
Page
Perdomo. The other address is 3240 Northwest and 13th Avenue.
How much time do you need on this one?
Same thing. If you can give me a 90 days, good.
What is the reason here? Work were not finalized. You complied with one of them. Failure to register. It's a vacant lot. Have you cleaned this lot up at all? Because it shows here like you haven't. It's still outstanding. Have you cleaned the lot?
Yeah.
You need to contact your inspector because he has that as open, that violation if you cleaned it. He needs to
Again,
close it.
This
Okay.
goes back to 2021 as well.
I understand, but the inspector's not here. It's not going to take
Motion-
him 3
No,
years.
the director is here. Motion for
Can she
30
tell us
days.
if the lot is clean?
But this is just for extension, right?
No.
I'm sorry,
So-
that motion was 30 days?
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye. 30 days.
Another 30 days.
But
Okay.
contact your inspector. Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, do the.
Okay, now we're going into mitigations. This is also on the city view agenda. It says add-on number 5. So this is in the,
Wait, Melanie,
yes.
is anybody here on a first-time case to be
Yes,
heard?
they're absentia cases.
Cases
2
to
of
be
them.
heard?
These
Can we-
gentlemen are here on a new case.
Can we start some of the
It's
mitigations? I gotta go in a minute. It looks like a
You want to
quorum.
call those too?
Why don't just stay where we were?
No, but we always,
It's absentia.
Well, I decide that. So,
So
I
You
am the one that decides.
you want to go to the
Yeah.
absentia case?
So
no, how we have
we
always,
need to hear the case to be heard because.
I understand, that's what I was saying, Madam Chair. We always do the to be heard
So
first,
let's continue. with
then
to
the
be heard.
extensions of time, and then we end with
But we
the
did-
If you
mitigation.
have to go, go, because we
That's
have.
fine. No,
four.
you're
We
a
still have
quorum,
four.
but we just finished extension.
Just for clarity, the abstentions have always been left for the end. Even if somebody's here that doesn't qualify for standing, those are heard at the end.
Okay.
We roll through the calendar with the people that
That's
are
what I
present.
have left.
That's what I was trying to say.
Go ahead.
So everyone here is with absentia?
Mitigation.
Or mitigation, we
okay.
haven't done mitigation. yet.
Okay. No, I thought there were cases to be heard in absentia. That's what I'm asking. So you're telling me, no, there isn't any.
No, there are
But
at
cases
the
to be
end,
heard in
okay.
abstention.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
This
Go
is
ahead.
the add-on in the city view agenda. It says add-on 5. This is, address is 260 Northwest 49th Street, case number CE 2016-018-002. This is the add-on number 5. It's a mitigation in
It's
the
at the
city
end?
view agenda, and it's 77 days.
3579 Avocado Avenue?
5.
Where?
City
Melanie?
view.
I don't know where you're talking about.
We don't
Right
have,
here
I
on your
don't see it.
agenda.
What page?
It says add on 5. See, these are cases that are added on, so we got to do the best we can. It's add
Okay,
on
it's at the
5.
end of the packet.
It's in the yellow,
You can't see
beneath the, behind the yellow page
Oh, it's
here.
yellow?
Right.
Okay, add on 5, address 260 Northwest 49th Street. This is a
Okay.
mitigation at 77 days.
Okay.
I can find.
My name's Evan Luther. My address is 260 Northwest 49th Street, Miami, Florida 33127. So just, I guess, briefly, just wanted to give you a description of everything that happened. I moved here in 2016 to start a new job with my wife. We purchased the home, had disclosure statements from the sellers saying that nothing was done without permits. In that same year, we got permit violations slapped on our door. I had no idea about it. We contacted the city and they told us that we were responsible for it. So I went to the title lawyer, who then sent a letter to the sellers saying that they would be responsible for it. We got no response, and her response to me was that we could pursue legal action against them, but that we would also be responsible to update all the work as it went. So I told her I didn't have enough money to do both. So I took out a loan with the general contractor, and we had an initial hearing where he represented me in April of 2017. At that time, we were given 90 days. Within about 6 weeks or so, he had everything ready to go with a bid from a subcontractor. The problem with that is that it was a lot of work. All the windows had to be redone. The entire fence of the property had to be taken out and then re-put back in because it was on the wrong side. So he requested an extension at that time, which was denied. So his response to me was then, well, we're just going to have to do it as quickly as possible and then request a mitigation hearing. So we were in compliance at the end of August 31st. We actually had an inspector, a third-party inspector, come in and make sure that we were.
What year? Sorry to interrupt.
This is 2017.
Okay, thank you.
2017. In August of 2017, at the time, the third-party inspector checked off and said everything looked like it was up to code. We contacted the inspector from the city to come, and it took her about 4 weeks or so to come back. So we were out of compliance for, at that point, almost 80 days, so 77 days. On September of 26th of 2017, we were finally put in compliance with the city. The general contractor requested a mitigation hearing with the city. I signed a power of attorney letter from him. He said that he would be able to take care of it and waive the fees. He never showed up. I was never notified by the city that I had this large amount of money still owed until obviously now. So we're now 8 years later, and I had no idea that any of this had even happened.
Through the
Is this
chair, a question.
260 Northwest 49th Street?
Correct. Yes,
This
ma'am.
is your homestead.
That's your
This is my
homestead, right?
homestead. Yep,
Right.
I've lived here for 8 years.
So it's a T3, so it qualifies for the mitigation of being a single-family home or a duplex, which means that we don't have to use the scale that we have as far as the section 2.817. So we bypass that in your case. So what are the expenses that the city has gone?
Right.
The only expenses would have been, the inspector's work, posting, things of that sort, but.
So 2,500.
Is there a city recommendation?
2,500.
I believe 2,500.
Well,
I think it's
I'd
too
like to
high.
ask him.
I think it's too
I
high.
think he's been through a lot.
Yes.
I think we need to ask him if there's anything that you can afford. They're recommending 2,500.
I'm fine with
Is
less.
there
I
anything
would like
that
to
you
make
can
a
afford?
motion for $0. so we
I'll
can move
second
forward.
zero.
I'll
Fine,
second
something
zero.
we're doing.
Okay.
How
All
much
in
was
favor?
it?
Zero.
All in favor?
Aye.
Zero.
Thank you so much.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Don't
Wait for
leave-
your order.
Don't leave
Yeah,
before
you gotta
your
wait for a
order.
document.
Yeah,
You
please
need
get
to
your
save
document.
that.
Calling the next case, this is also a mitigation in City View. It is page 13. It's in the front of your booklet.
What page?
Page
13.
13 in City View. The address is 1885 Northwest 32nd Street. Case number CE 2020-004-045, page 13. This is a mitigation. The address is 1885 Northwest 32nd Street. This is at 1,219 days.
Page 13, hold on, where am I, in the front?
Yes,
Hold
in the
on, I'm not
front
there
of
yet.
your booklet.
Yeah, that's 1885, right?
Yes, 1885 Northwest 32nd Street, page 13. City View.
Okay, I got it. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Please state your name and address.
Tu nombre? Vivian Pavón. Y la dirección, address, la dirección.
Okay, don't we have an interpreter? You know, we have to have an interpret her for these hearings.
So it has to be her?
Yeah, oh, sorry, I thought you were another interpreter. Sorry. Address, please.
El nombre y la dirección. Vivian Pavón. La dirección
She needs to speak into the mic, we can't hear her.
Abre el micrófono. Vivian Pavón, 1885 Northwest 32 Street. ¿Cuál es la dirección?
This is for mitigation,
1885 Northwest 32nd Street.
right? She has 304,750. Again, she's T3, so she qualifies.
So let
also
me,
for a
let me just put
single-family
this on the
home.
record. Let me put this on the record. They just closed out the probate, so she does have standing. I just
The
want to
what?
put that on the record. They closed out probate, so she does have standing. She was awarded the property in probate. She was the personal representative in probate.
Oh, okay.
I want to put that on.
Marino Pavon was her father or
Yeah,
relative?
I believe it was her father.
It was her
Okay.
father.
Okay.
Que tu papá era el dueño de la propiedad.
Everything was complied back
You
in
explained to her
2020. Do
that
I
she
have a
needs-
motion?
I'm sorry?
No, I'm saying that everything was complied back in 2020. Do
All
I have a
complied?
motion?
All complied?
Everything was complied back in 2020, and the citation was on 2020.
Sure, move for zero.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the amount is zero.
Zero. No le
Thank you.
vamos a cobrar.
No más.
No se vaya porque hay que darle un documento legal que tenemos que firmar.
Calling page 15. This is a city view agenda as well, mitigation. Address is 2280 Southwest 16th Court. Case number CE 2017-020347. This is page 15, city view agenda. It is at 2,033 days.
Hi, please state your name and address.
My name is Eduardo Antonio Pardo Fernandez. My current address is 813 Messina Avenue. Do you mind if I hand you this? very
No,
briefly?
you can go ahead and handle that. This is not your homestead, correct? This is a rented property? It was your homestead at one point in time. When was it your homestead? This citation goes back to 2017. You complied, one in 2018, the illegal units, and worked with a finalized permit. You just complied in April of this year. He still qualifies for a single-family home. So,
Okay.
you qualify for a discount. We don't have to utilize
Can
again.
we
Well-
hear from him first? Aren't we supposed to hear from?
Can I finish speaking, please?
Well,
Don't
I'm just
interrupt me.
asking.
Thank you very much. You do not, we don't have to go through this chart, so we don't have to go through these fixed amounts that are very large amounts because you qualify as your home is a single-family home or duplex. I see here that you have a total fine of $508,250. I see that you gave us a large packet. Would you like to tell us a little more of?
Yes, very briefly. My wife and I bought this house in 2009. In 2017, we assumed because of a dispute with neighbors, we got a citation for an illegal unit, and Inspector Troutman went to our place. There was no illegal unit, but she found out, she suspected that some of the modifications to the garage were done without a permit. So we asked for microfilm, and lo and behold, to our surprise, we found out that there was no record whatsoever of that modification. So the garage was converted into some sort of a unit with a bathroom and the kitchenette, which my wife used for painting purposes. And at some point when my mom came to live with us for a couple of months, she stayed there. We decided to try and legalize it as a guest bedroom, so a detached expansion of the primary house, not a separate unit. And we submitted plans. We received comments from them that the water main was undersized, so we had to ask for a water pressure test, which took just 2 months, only that. We unfortunately didn't come to the initial hearing for the Code Enforcement Board because there was a confusion on the dates. We were assigned one date and then we were reassigned another date. By the time we were reassigned, we were out of the country because my mother-in-law fell and she broke her foot and she underwent surgery, so we had to spend some time outside of the country. And to our dismay, when we came back, the hearing had passed. And since we weren't here, just Inspector Troutman came and said, well, they have been in communication with me. They submitted plans, but that's all I know, and they are not here. we were given the minimum 30 days, after which a $250 a fine would start accruing per diem. We approached the court enforcement when we went back and we said, well, at this point, the 30 days have passed already. I mean, you're in the city, reviews are being made, comments are being issued. The best you can do is just get your permit as soon as possible and fall into compliance and then just notify us. We had several issues. Our as-built certificate that we produced, it was lost when we got entered the building department. And so we had to send a written request to Mr. Alvaro Osorio and the building official as well. We have also some comments that were extemporaneous, in our opinion, from zoning, whereas we were trying to legalize this garage conversion, and zoning was asking us for modifications to the driveway in front, which were not part of the scope of work, for a non-compliant condition from 1939, and asking us to move the gate. And I got into back and forth with Ms. Diana Gudelo, who was the plan reviewer, and we had to actually modify the plans just to get her happy and get approval. And then the next round, she will say, well, what you're trying to do.
Wait, hold on 1 minute. What's the city recommending?
$2,500.
$2,500. What are you asking for?
If that's doable, yes, I can do that.
2,500 is fine by you.
Remember.
So it would be $2,500
Yes.
in 20
In
days.
20 days.
What can you afford?
If we can do 2,000, I would really appreciate it.
I'll move for 500.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
$500.
$500.
Thank you so much.
Wait, you need to get an order and you need to have that. You need to pay that within
20 days or go back to
It goes back to
No,
$500,000?
no, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
hope the
Sorry that
$500.
you were cut off
Thank you. No
for
worries.
your explanation.
Thank you.
Okay, we're still in the city view agenda. We're behind the yellow pages of the booklet. This is add-on 1. The address is 1244 Northwest 32nd Street. Case number CE 2013-003-531. This is the add-on 1. And the address is 1244 Northwest 32nd Street. It's at 2,595 days.
This is also to be heard, mitigation.
Yes.
Good evening, please
Good
state your
evening,
name
Madam
and
Chairwoman.
address.
Add-on 1.
Bert Hernandez, 4909 Southwest 74th Court, Miami, Florida, 33155.
I see that this also qualifies as a single-family home. It's a T3. Per diem total $648,750. Is
What
there
was-
anything you'd like to say?
Sir, what is the address?
My address?
No.
1244 Southwest 32nd Street.
Okay, because I have it as
No.
add-on 3.
There's 2 of them. There's an
There's
add-on 1
Chairwoman.
and an add-on 3. He's here for
Okay.
2.
There's 2 cases.
Okay, thank you.
Are they related properties?
Same property. There's a 2013 and a 2018. The property owner,
Probably put them together.
for your information, the property owner bought the property after the fact. He bought it in January of 2018. The city demolished the property. He paid in excess of $12,000 in change with administrative fees and demolition costs. After that, it became a vacant lot. He submitted plans, purchased a building permit, is building a duplex. She is living on the lower, it's a 2-story duplex. And at the end of the day, they complied with everything of the prior violator. He is not she's not to be held as the original violator here.
Okay. What is the city recommending? So this is currently her homestead,
That's correct.
one of them, one of the units. is-
Yes, correct.
The other one is,
We can always go to 2,500.
okay.
2,500 you recommend?
Yep, 25.
Can they afford, or is that fine?
I'm actually asking for waiver since they were not the violator. They came in to clean up the mess. They, not only did they comply, but they paid the demolition costs and administrative fees of the city. And on top of that, has put the property back on the tax rolls.
So this is, the fines are $648,750, and your client doesn't want to pay $2,500. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
the original.
It's the same as the last case,
It's a-
$500.
It's a T3.
No,
Do
no,
I have a
wait, wait.
second?
I'm
Second.
just confused 1 second. Elizabeth, the page that I'm seeing in here as a page 3 is 51,500.
There's two of
There's a
them.
page
That's a
1
second.
and a
We're on
page
page-
3. We're
okay.
on page 1.
Page 1.
I'll move the same as the last
I
$500.
have a first, I have a second. Do I have a second motion for
For what?
$500?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Same for the
Calling.
next property. Same for
Calling.
the next property.
Okay, let me put it on the record if you don't mind. So calling page, it's add-on 3. The address is 1244 Northwest 32nd Street. Case number CE 2018. I'm sorry, 2018 008372. Add-on 3. The address is also 1244 Northwest 32nd Street. This one is 206 days.
Okay.
Same situation,
Please
same
state your
owner.
name and address.
Bert Hernandez, 4909 Southwest 74th Court, Miami, Florida, 33155.
Same situation, same owner. Do I
Move
have a motion?
$500.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
$500.
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
Wait for your orders, please. Okay, we're also back in the mitigation. This is page 10, City View Agenda. The address is 3320 Southwest 23rd Street. Case number CE 2012-016590. Page 10, City View Agenda,
Page 10.
3,465 days.
Hold on, I'm not there yet. Let
Wait,
me
wait.
find this.
I'm confused now.
Page 10, City View Agenda.
Please state your name and address.
I'll speak on behalf of Maria Arzola.
I'm sorry?
You have to put name on it.
You need to state your name.
Hi,
And
good
address.
evening. Maria Arzola, 3320 Southwest 23rd Street.
And this gentleman is?
It's my husband.
Okay, and he's owner as well of the property? Please state your name.
Janio Montefiore.
Thank you. And obviously, you're in the same address. This is also a mitigation. We said page 10?
Page 10, City View Agenda, 3,465 days.
The 3320 Southwest 23rd Street? Okay, this is a T3, also qualifies for a single-family home. What is the city recommending?
$2,500 in costs.
I'll move the same as the others, 500. It's the same situation.
Can you afford
Yeah, that's
$500
fine.
in 20 days?
Yes.
Because it goes and reverts back to the full amount. Okay, I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wait for the order, $500. Thank you.
Next case, excuse me. This is the add-on. It is the very last page behind the blue here.
Okay.
This is an add-on. The address 3579 Avocado Avenue. Case number 000-60057. 3579 Avocado Avenue. It is the add-on case. It's behind the blue page here in the booklet, behind the blue page.
You here? Uh-oh.
It just says add-on.
Hi, please state your name and address.
Hi, good evening. My name is Fernanda Moreno, and I live in 1040 Northeast 122nd Street.
Ms. Moreno. This is also mitigation?
That's
Yep. How many days?
I'm so sorry. What is the address, please?
3579 Avocado Street Avenue.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
this is a
It's
T-
at 163 days.
Okay, it's a T3. So it qualifies for reduction. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
You want to tell
Yeah,
us a
so
little bit about this?
Inspector Mevin Southeast, the owner, it's normally with a lot of the vacant lots, when the owner is not in the country and they don't see it, they don't know, right? So when they did eventually become aware of it, they remedied the issue immediately. And so, yeah, I just wanted to speak on that.
Thank you.
No problem.
So what is the city recommending, $2,500?
Is this a single family?
It's a
household?
T3.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but it's T3.
$2,500.
$2,500.
I'm going to make a motion, $500.
Can you afford $500?
Second.
20, paying in 20 days?
right away.
Oh, okay, great. Do I have a
Second.
second?
You've already got
All
a
in
second.
favor? Aye, $500. Please wait for your order. Thank you.
She's also here for another case.
Okay.
This is also a mitigation. It is page 212, Code Check Agenda. The address is 3656 Southwest 37th Avenue, case number 000-67045. It is page 212, code check agenda, and this is at 8 days.
Okay, Inspector, this is the same thing?
Same
Vacant lot?
issue, correct, yeah.
What
Okay.
page?
This is a T,
Page 212.
this is a
code check.
T3, city recommending $2,500?
Again, $2,500.
Okay,
This is
do
the
I have a
city's
motion?
cost.
Motion for 500.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
500?
500.
Oh,
So
thank
wait
you.
till we sign the order.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Money
Have a
would
good
go
night.
after
Thank you,
all
guys.
of it.
Thank you, Inspector.
It is the city money. The city.
And now
all the
we're
services
going, just
you
to make
want,
sure I got all those.
get 'em
Okay, now we
for
have
easy.
the two
Absentia?
absentia cases with the to be heards.
Okay.
This is in the code check agenda. It is page 114. The address is 520 Southwest 22nd Road, case number 000-83668, page 114.
What
This
is
is
the page, 114? Thank you.
114. This is a to be heard.
This is, they have no standing?
Correct.
Oh, she needs an interpreter?
Oh, the translator. Just a moment. This is page 114.
Right, please have her state her name and address.
Tu nombre y tu dirección, por favor.
My name is Monica Puente. The address is 5200 Southwest 22nd Road, Miami, Florida 33129.
What is she in relation to the property owner?
¿Qué relación tienes tú con la propiedad?
Yo soy la property manager del dueño.
She's the property manager.
Okay, does she know that she doesn't have standing? So
No
there's
tienes
really,
nada que, no tienes ningún
she doesn't have the
derecho.
proper documentation, so
No
we're
tiene
gonna hear this
documentación
case
ninguna,
in
no tiene
absentia.
nada que-
Inspector, can you go
que
ahead
te
and present the
respalde.
case?
Inspector, state your name and official position.
Good evening, Eric Zenosa, After Hours.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 520 Southwest 22nd Road?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes,
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtain of the online listings for short-term rental, as well as your notes, correct?
yes,
And also your iBuild research regarding the permits that
yes,
were required. Okay. Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
correct,
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
correct.
Madam Chair, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Inspector, can you give the board a brief synopsis of what the violations are and how much time, if any, you're recommending?
Okay, basically, I started talking about this case earlier. I jumped the gun on this. This case was originally cited by Chris Pierre. It was for a short-term rental. It was before me. He was taken down. He went to zoning. I was asked to review all the other previous cases, and I found that this one, basically, the address had been changed on Booking.com. It was originally 520 Southwest 22nd Road, and then the new listing I found on Booking.com listed 580 Southwest 22nd Road, same photos. I also found a recent screenshot listing at hotels.com, which is, as you know, it's not long-term. I talked with the owner. They had a pool permit that had not been resolved. They resolved the pool permit relatively quickly. I can comply that violation. The short-term rental had to be heard. I told the individual, his name's Michael, he's in New York. I told him, make sure you have a valid power of attorney. They don't have a valid power of attorney, so that's why they can't really speak up for it. But yeah, it's still, the link for Booking.com is visible. It's not deactivated. There's a screenshot there that says on the top in red, unfortunately, you cannot book at this time. So the last time it was reactivated.
Can I say something? They're in vacations.com and I can book it right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm juggling about 30 or 40
they're still
short-term
renting it.
rentals. There's a bunch of them that are listed. The company that manages is Arrow Rentals LLC, and it says right there in the picture, Arrow Rentals Short-Term Miami Vacation Rentals Management. So it's managed by a short-term rental company for the bookings.
So we're recommending a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
I'm going to make a motion for guilty 48 hours to come into compliance and $500 thereafter.
Do I have a second?
This is really harming like all the
I think
properties around.
$500 is too low for Airbnbs. These people are making
Then
a killing.
I'll
Can I-
amend to 500.
We can
I have a
go,
question for the city, and there's no recommendation for the irreparable?
They don't qualify for that.
yes,
Okay.
we're gonna do an irreparable, but I think somebody objected to the 500.
Yeah.
Under Florida statutes, we can go up to 1,000 a day after 5 days. And we are requesting an irreparable harm. Obviously, the property owner takes one position, but then the evidence is different. So we certainly can't rely on his word.
No, and I'm sure he has other properties as well within the city.
Yeah,
that
you can
Just
find
to-
them on their website,
Just to add, I did have a couple of conversations with the owner on phone and text messages. He says that it was the people that he was renting to, that they were subleasing.
It's
Just wanted that on the
it's his
record, that's all.
business.
It's his responsibility.
I told him the exact same thing.
He owns the property.
They're still renting.
We're still, so our position is still guilty 5 days, but $1,000 a day and a $15,000 irreparable harm.
So my motion is for guilty 48 hours, $1,000 a day thereafter, $15,000 irreparable harm charge.
Do I have a second?
It
No
dies.
second?
It dies, right?
It just, 5 days is being,
No, because
Oh, she
this
said
is
48
the code. I said
I know,
48
that's what
hours.
I can second, because I have to have
needs to be able to go
enough
out.
time for them not to sue the city back. That's what the
No,
reason is 5 days.
But that's not even fair to our residents, because the residents are the ones that have to deal with
That's what
this.
you're saying.
And he's only working for 2 more days of this week. They don't need to have to
I'm
go
not.
through. No, but what I'm saying is like code enforcement needs to be able to go out and check.
No,
before the
and,
weekend.
and we do, but the problem is this, because we are always trying to prevent the filing of an appeal in circuit court.
That's fine. I'll make
Then
I'll make the
third
motion.
district
I
court
got
of
you.
appeal, in the end, they'll get more time than if we
Okay.
just
The
do
problem
5
is, remember,
days.
your commissioner also, and the new commissioner does not want the city to be sued. So if
Correct.
you're
That's
representing your
correct. So,
district,
right.
I think you need to take that into
I
consideration.
I will definitely take it into consideration and amend the motion for
Guilty 5 days.
5 days, $15,000, $1,000 per day. thereafter.
Okay, great. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
15,000 irreparable harm
How much
penalty?
was that?
$15,000 irreparable, 15,000 irreparable harm fee, $1,000 per diem within the 5th day. They have to remove all the listings. They still have listings renting the property within 5 days.
Miss, just saying that he's not doing it, we don't accept. What we look at is what's on file. Okay. Calling
Thank
the
you.
next
Thank you,
case.
Inspector.
Thank you.
This
Next
is
case.
page 127. The address is 5900 Northwest 17th Avenue. Case number 000-81576. Address 5900 Northwest 17th Avenue.
This is also heard in absentia.
Yes.
And it's to be heard, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Good
Page
evening.
127.
Good
Please
evening.
state your name and address.
Kenneth Collier, 2363 Andrews Valley Drive, Kissimmee, Florida, 34758.
What is your relation to the property owner?
Okay, the property owner, Jerry Machad, was deceased. The property is in probate at the moment.
Oh.
We were the legal owners, and we've been occupants of the building since 2003. We had a dispute with Mr. Machad, he and I. And so I signed the property over to him temporarily, and he deceased while the property was signed over. So he didn't get a chance to resolve it and settle it. So it's in
But
probate.
sir, let me ask you a quick question because we always try to be fair. This is failure to register a vacant structure. Is the structure vacant?
No, I am the occupant. Our church is the occupant. It's been occupied since 2003. It's never been vacant. What happened was that we decided to paint the building and we power washed it to get the old paint off. And the old paint, the building looked like it was vacant because there was no paint on it for a while, for about 3 weeks because we kept getting rain and couldn't get it painted.
Okay.
but it is painted now.
It's painted and it houses a church.
Yes, it does.
Inspector, is that your recollection of this case?
Anishka Anderson, Code Compliance North. Someone did contact me and say that the property wasn't vacant, but I checked, there was no certificate of use or business tax receipt at the property. So I told him that I have to consider it vacant because there was a padlock on the door and they don't have a certificate of use or any business tax receipt to occupy the property. So
Can we
to
see
me,
the picture?
Do we have a photograph
Yes.
of the violation?
If it's a nonprofit, we'll never get BTR. It will get just the CEO.
they don't have
Okay.
they don't have anything.
Okay, so the problem that I have is that this is in probate, or I've been told. And so nothing is going to be accomplished in 5 days.
Nope.
Okay?
Nope.
And so I have, heartburn over that because we also want to be fair. Inspector, would you be averse to 30 days?
No, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so we're recommending guilty, 30 days to register the vacant structure or to provide evidence to
It's not
the
vacant.
inspector. I understand what you're saying. And to get the CU and BTR, 30 days is more than enough time. Are you the personal representative of the estate?
No, I'm not.
Who is?
Anita Mashad is, from what I understand.
Okay, so you're gonna need to get in touch with her.
Okay, so.
Okay, because if not, fines will start. So we're recommending guilty,
30 days.
30 days to come into compliance, $250 a day thereafter.
Well, if it's a church,
Yeah.
We don't know that it's a church. Is it a church?
I haven't had access inside.
No,
I
there's
cited
no
it for-
access.
The name is printed on the outside of the building.
Okay, I just have a question. Can he
Trying to get-
can he apply for the certificate of use while these 30 days are moving forward?
He could have applied since I cited the property in March. They've done nothing, so.
why haven't you been able to apply? Well, he can't.
He
He's
can,
not, it's in probate.
Right.
and he doesn't have a
He
lease.
can't.
So
So
then,
even if
I
we give
mean-
him 30 days, probate
There-
is not going to close in 30 days.
No, but he's going to, there's a personal representative that can come to the city, file the CU and BTR, but there is no name on the outside of this building.
Yes, it's there.
It is now.
Where's your picture?
Is it now, you mean?
We have
I didn't
pictures.
see a name.
It's the burden of the church to show their, whatever. I stand by my recommendation.
My suggestion is, please take the card or phone number from the city attorney and be in touch with her and
And also with the inspector, because she's the
Yeah.
one that's going to need to.
both of them.
Okay, so we're recommending guilty, 30 days,
150.
150.
Do I have a motion?
I
Do
feel
I have
like,
a motion?
honestly, I feel like I don't have enough information on this, so I can't make a motion
Well,
because
we're three, so 30 days, 150. Is there a motion?
I can.
I'm going to make a motion for 90 days, 150.
Do I have a second?
I'll second 90 days for them.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, 90 days.
So you have 90 days. Hopefully by then,
You get
but
this
figure out, try to get your certificate of use. You don't need a
But it's
BTR,
not
but
even-
you need a certificate of use.
he doesn't even have standing.
So listen, are you?
Your inspector will explain to you.
You need to, she's going to explain it to you,
Yeah.
and you
Guys,
need
he
to
has
talk
no
to the
standing.
personal representative.
But he's there. He has a lease.
He has no standing to
No.
speak out against what the city is saying. However, he can talk to the inspector.
Okay.
Right.
That's between
All right.
him and the owner.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next
Next.
case, that's it? We're done?
I don't have any more cases.
Awesome, we're done.
Okay, so we have,
Do we have inspector?
we
still here?
have 1, 2, 3,
Oh, they're not.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to be heard.
Okay, let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Okay, the first one that we have is page 14.
14?
Page 14, the address is 3176 Commodore Plaza.
Again?
The inspector is
Jacob Medvin.
Medvin. Okay, Inspector Medvin, did you cite the property at 3176 Commodore Plaza?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file on this case?
Yes,
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs and your research on the city's networks and computers in the city, correct?
yes,
What we've marked as Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser and the warranty deed, correct?
correct,
Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
correct.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Thank you. And on this case, you cited them for failure to register a vacant structure and work performed without a permit. What was it that they did without the permit?
Sure. So they've complied since the registering of the vacant structure. The speakers were eventually removed. However, it was after the allotted time frame I gave them. So we're seeking guilty for repeat offender. So the next time they put it up without a permit, it'll be repeat.
Okay, so guilty, 5 days, $500 a day.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next one is page 18. The address is 2315 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Inspector, state your name and official position.
Marcelo Lazarique, Central Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 2315 Northwest 2nd Avenue?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes,
All right, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as your notes and your research on the city's computer programs, correct?
yes,
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
yes,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
yes,
Okay, and we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and you cited them for no CU and no BTR, correct?
correct.
And they still haven't complied.
Nope,
Okay, so we're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until
Do I
compliance
have a
is achieved.
motion?
Motion as stated.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
Okay, the next one is page 61. The address is 11 Southwest 7th Street. Jocelyn Castillo, please state your name and official position.
Jocelyn Castillo, Code Compliance Inspector, Southeast Office.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 11 Southwest 7th Street?
Yes,
And did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes, ma'am.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violation as well as your research on the city's business detail computer programs in the building department.
Yes,
And what we've marked as Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser.
yes,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
correct.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
And you cited them for work without a permit, no CU, and no BTR, correct?
Yes.
And what was the work without a permit?
Inside of the units, there have been just partitions, dog kennels, windows, all sorts of things.
All
They
right.
need a
Wow.
permit. A lot of permits.
So we need a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Motion as stated.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, the next one is page 80. The address is 6101 Northwest 17th Avenue. That is complied? Okay. Excellent. The next one that we have is page 87. The address is 1775 Southwest 10th Street. Please state your name and official position.
Senior Code Compliance Inspector Cristobal, Southeast Office.
And did you issue a citation to the property at 1775 Southwest 10th Street?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
I did.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as your research and personal notes?
Correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser?
Yes,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
correct.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, Inspector, you cited the property for failure to maintain the exterior. vacant, blighted, unsecured, or abandoned structure, failure to register a vacant structure, and failure to maintain the lot in a safe, clean condition, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, and $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So move to guilty, 5 days, $500.
This is his homestead.
Second.
No, it's,
Yes,
it's,
it is.
it's,
This
well,
is the gentleman's homestead.
it was maybe.
When I searched it, and I could be wrong, Madam Chair, I didn't see the exemption on the county property search, but again,
It's on here.
So it's guilty, 5 days, 250 is what we're requesting.
Do I have a motion?
Okay, so
Motion
move
as
for guilty,
stated.
5 days, 250.
yeah, and there's also a separate case, I believe, with unsafe structures as well.
Okay,
tell.
the next one that we have is.
No, we
page-
haven't.
We haven't voted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I made the motion
Second.
as stated.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, the next one that we have is page 124, and the address is 5880 Northwest 17th Avenue. Inspector, state your name for the record. So that's reset? Okay. Page 124 is reset. Okay, the next one that we have is page 131. The address is 1425 Northwest 59th Street. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector Anderson, Code Compliance North.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 1425 Northwest 59th Street?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes,
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as your personal notes on the file, correct?
that's correct.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law?
yes.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Okay, and Inspector, you cited the property for failure to register a vacant lot, outside storage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, we'd like to request a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
I have a question. House of God Miracle Temple Inc., is that empty lot belong to a church?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the church next to the lot?
No.
No, it's a empty
Just
lot
an
and it
empty lot.
belongs
Lot
to the
belongs
church.
So what is the city recommending again?
Guilty, 5 days, $250 a day thereafter.
Motion as stated.
Do I have a second?
How much you say for that?
250, she said.
I'll second.
Your
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next case.
Okay, the next case is page 134. The address is 1440 Northwest 59th Street. Inspector, state your name and official position.
Inspector Anderson, Code Compliance North.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 1440 Northwest 59th Street?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes, that's correct.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as your personal notes and your permit search.
Yes,
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser.
yes,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law.
yes.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Okay, and Inspector, you cited them for work without a permit, outside storage, and parking and storage of inoperable or untagged vehicles, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, we'd like to request a guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one that we have is page 156. The address is 1690 Northwest 62nd Street. Inspector, state your name and official position.
Inspector Anderson, Code Compliance North.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 5711 Northwest First Place?
This is 1690, right?
No,
North.
5711.
5711.
Yep.
T3.
It's a
5711,
George's. It's not hers.
but it's Sarah Dean George's.
Oh,
Sorry.
You want to take them all?
State your,
Inspector
state your name.
George's after hours.
Okay. And did you issue a citation to the property of 5711 Northwest First Place?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes,
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are your notes and the photographs that you obtained of the violations, correct?
that is correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
That is correct.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law?
Yes,
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the
Submit it.
record. Okay, Inspector, you cited them for failure to maintain the lot and failure to maintain the exterior of the property, correct?
correct.
Okay, we'd like to request a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, and $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a motion?
So
Oh, no, I'm sorry, $500 a day.
So moved.
Motion as stated.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Okay. Okay, the next one that we have is page 159. Inspector Anderson.
This one's yours.
This is interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. Page 159, the address is 1690 Northwest 62nd Street, is that correct?
yes,
Okay, and you provided me with your file in this case?
yes,
And you issued a citation to the property owner, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violations as well as your notes on the property, correct?
That's correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser?
Yes,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
yes,
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and you cited them for failure to register a vacant lot with the city of Miami, outside storage and graffiti on the property, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, we'd like to have a guilty finding, 5 days, and $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Question, Elizabeth. If those containers are next to those are single-family homes, or those are condos or apartments, whatever?
It looks like there's apartments behind it. You see the fence that's, they're behind it.
And the other concern is the trees as well. How did they get those? in there?
Containers in and out?
Yeah. I mean,
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion as stated by the city attorney.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay, we have two more. But did we already hear 156, Melanie, page 156?
Yes, guilty, 5 days, 500.
You just did it, 5 days of home.
No, but I did 159.
But you did
Yeah,
156.
you did 156, then 159.
Okay,
was-
thank you.
That was. the one that
Okay,
you wanted to go over.
the next one is page 162. The address is 1370 Northwest 60th Street. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector Anderson, Code Compliance North.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 1370 Northwest 60th Street?
Yes,
And did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes,
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violation, the emails back and forth, as well as the records from the building department, correct?
that's correct.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes,
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law?
yes,
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and basically the citations were for work performed without a permit, parking and storage of inoperable and untagged vehicles, and a travel trailer not permitted, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, we'd like to have a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, and this is a
D4.
single
Is it-
family,
No, it's
so-
not. No, it's not. It's D4.
And $250 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last one. Page 166, the address is 900 Southwest 28th Avenue. Please state your name and official position.
Vanessa Pino, Code Compliance, Southeast Office.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 900 Southwest 28th Avenue?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations, your personal notes on the property, and the listing as to permits on the property address?
Yes.
Okay, and Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes.
And Exhibit C are the records of notices and summonses required by Florida law.
Yes.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Okay, thank you. And this was for failure to maintain the lot in a safe, clean condition, a failure to register a vacant lot, work performed without a permit, and maintaining a structure encroaching in the required setbacks. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what was the work that they did without a permit?
So it's a vacant lot. I gained access because the property next door is a vacant structure, so I have a violation there as well. However, the vacant lot is not accessible from the street because there's a house in front, which is a different owner, and there's this apartment building behind, which happens to be the same owner, which is why I posted the violation there. They've built some type of shed, some type of structure, which is encroaching. There's also some type of gazebo. It's overgrown and it's not registered.
Okay. We're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does this conclude our meeting for tonight?
Are we done?
Well, I have to be heard on the what is it called? The City View. City View. It's only 2 files.
That's it? Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, the first one is page 1, Genesis Troutman. Welcome back. Okay, please state your name and official position.
Page 1, you say?
Genesis Troutman, Senior Code Compliance Inspector, Central Office.
And did you issue a citation to the property at 3550 Southwest 37th Avenue?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are your photographs of the actual violations occurring, as well as your research and I-Built.
Yes, that's correct.
And the exhibits that we've marked as B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes.
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law.
Yes.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Okay, and Inspector, you cited the property for work performed without a permit, and that's it. Okay, what is it that they did
Okay,
without a permit?
the property owners completed a complete renovation. Well, they're in the process of doing a complete renovation. When I drove by, I saw the workers outside with the concrete and the construction material. I was able to meet with the owners. We did a walkthrough of the property as well as the unsafe structure. Inspector went out, so they have a building violation as well as a code compliance violation. They actually have an open permit. They haven't finalized that